quiet. Hasn't cried.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Diesel Punks here on Encounter Roleplay. I'm your host and your master of ceremonies and your weirdo that keeps thinking of stuff to put in the apocalypse, Savvy. We're here to play Apocalypse World today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. If you're here with us live, we're so glad you are. If you're here with us later on YouTube, where you can watch all of the past episodes of this show and all the other ones, we're also very glad you're here. And leave us some comments so we can talk to you about the show too. Before we get started, I have this list of wonderful sponsors that we have right now that I want to share with you because they deserve some love. We have Mage Hand Press, who are running their Kickstarter currently for their Dark Matter starter kit. It's great, super cool. You can see an adventure from that kit called Conspiracy in the Stars on this channel Wednesday at 3 p.m., of which the finale is this week. So that's very, very exciting. It's going to be really epic and cool. Make sure you're there for that. It's 3 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm very excited to watch it. Let's see, who do we have next? We have Helmgast. They have their modern horror tabletop game, Cult Divinity Lost. You can see that here on Wednesdays as well at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So you just got like a whole great Wednesday afternoon this week. You can hang out forever and watch great content. We have Modifius. They create and publish and distribute a huge range of RPGs, all kinds of stuff for your Star Trek adventures, Tales from the Loop, which is great, Dishonored, also great, tons of stuff. You can see their Star Trek game here as well, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So Thursday evenings for some Star Trek adventures, also awesome. And then World Anvil, who we love, where audiences can find all kinds of additional information on a lot of the shows here on the channel this season. It's great for writers, it's great for world builders, it's great for GMs, it's great for players, and it's great for viewers like you. It's awesome. So those are our sponsors. Check them all out. Give them some support as they have given us. Going on the channel as well, EncounterCon is next weekend. We had a lot of people sign up for games, and it's very, very exciting. So we're going to have several streamed shows on August 29th and 30th. So make sure you join us for those. And then a lot of you signed up for some unstreamed games as well. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a great weekend. Very excited for that. That's August 29th. And
we
30th.
actually had a spot open up for the Zweihander game on Sunday evening. So if you hear this for the first time and always wanted to play, then maybe you quickly hop into Discord and send the DM Colin Kelly a quick DM. And maybe you're lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Get on that. That's awesome. Yeah, and then in addition to that, I'll mention it again at the end, there is no new episode of Eclipse after us tonight. So there will be a little bit of a gap there, but come back at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tonight for Wild and Chaotic, a wonderful show that you will really love. And we'll talk more about that at the end. And then let's see, while you're watching it, I know you're all doing it because I see you posting them in the chat. That's right, you're making clips of this show. You know what we have? A clip of the week. Clip moments you enjoy and send them to us. Every week we're picking one clip to highlight, and this week it could be yours. Plus, as you all know by now, I like to spend my time just sitting around watching them because they're all very fun. So thanks for making those, and maybe you'll be clip of the week. Today during the game, you can do some things that will influence it, both for me and our players. We have our live tweet up on Twitter right now. Please go and hit that retweet button, because once we hit 20 retweets on that, we will, or I will hand out a little boon to one of our players, an auto success that they can use on a roll. Once we hit 30, I'll give someone an auto fail that they or I can use on one of their rolls, and then 40 will come back around to something nice again until forever. You just keep doing that until the show ends. So retweet it. Tell your friends to retweet it. Be awesome. You can also donate to the channel for different things: Banes and Boons, pets. I keep coming back to pets. We ended up with a pet in the very first session of the game, and it's been great so far. Lots of other stuff too. Our sub goal is for every 5 subs, we will have a little, well, not necessarily little, but some sort of a surge of the psychic maelstrom, which we're calling the poisons. So they will whisper to someone, or give them a creepy vision, or sometimes just literally blow up in their face. That one's also happened. So yeah, once we hit that goal, we'll get a surge. I think that's all of the important stuff from me. Let us go around and meet once again our wonderful cast and tell us who you are and where we can find you and who you are playing today. We'll start with Rob.
Oh boy, it's me. Hi, I'm Rob, or Bonus Stage Rob. You can find me at Bonus Stage Rob on Twitter, or on Twitch at twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob. And when I'm not any of those places, I'm playing in games like this, like today, where I'm playing Liv, the Heart Holder. She's dope, she's strong, and she's never ever wrong. We'll workshop it. That's me.
I like it. Let's hear from Marlo.
Oh, hi. I'm Marlo. I am playing the amazing, wonderful Sedona today. And I do a lot of things. In addition to playing Sedona, who is an amazing cult leader who just so energetic and so into the whole, gods thing. I do a lot of other things. I'm in some other games and stuff. You find me on Twitter. You can follow me with the name above. That's my Twitter handle. Thanks.
Awesome. Let's hear from Lydia.
Hello everyone, I'm Lydia Halfhorst-Dermott, and I'm ERP Inventory. So of course I am here because Sally is a great GM and I wanted to play with her forever, and I get to play a brainer, which is kind of fucked up class, let's be honest. They're a little bit weird, a little bit wrong, a little bit problematic, but when you play with the right people, it can be super fun to explore that sort of stuff. And that's Mercury, who is probably should be locked up in any other world but Apocalypse world. So looking forward to exploring that some more.
All right, and let's hear from GB.
Greybeard's Tavern, and I today will be playing Moriai, the Faceless. Basically any horror movie villain you've ever seen, that's the Faceless. I just got a new power today, and I cannot wait to use it. So, watch out.
Spooky. All right, well, that's our wonderful cast of players. I've told you who I am. I'm Savvy Seaworth. That's where you can find me. And I'm your MC for the day. So let us go ahead and do our beginning of session things. We've already had our Heart Holder Liv roll for the beginning of session move. So we've got a surplus and a want for the hold. Let's go ahead and everybody mark off the barter that you're spending for your lifestyle. So 1 to keep it the same, 2 to maybe get some nicer things. however much you want to spend. If there's some nicer thing that you want to spend more barter on, you can tell me.
I'm going with 2 for the nice little dinner that I have planned for
Okay,
my faceless man.
that's lovely. All right. Anybody else want to spend more than 1?
No. Not currently.
Cool. All right, then let us go ahead and highlight stats, and then we'll get a move on back into the apocalypse. Let's see. We'll just go in the same order. Let's start with Liv. Who has the highest history on your sheet?
That would be Mercury.
Huh. What am I gonna do with you today? I think I'm going for sharp. Need you to be sharp with all the sharks out there in the water, dear Liv.
Okay, I'll go for hard.
Okay.
For Liv. All right. Sedona.
I have Mercury as my highest history.
Okay.
Oh dear, belle of the ball. Sedona is the coolest. So cool.
Cool.
Heart eyes, big heart eyes.
I'm going to say sharp for you today. All right. Mercury.
I have a tie between Moriai and Sedona.
Okay, so then each of you will pick one.
Weird. There it is. One of us will pick it, I hope.
I know that you worked on that hard earlier, right? So I'm gonna give you
Did.
hard. Get the chance to use it.
Let me
Nice.
punch things. Well, cut things. I have machetes now. Machetes.
I forgot I gave you two
How do you pronounce?
machetes.
I can. Yeah, you did. You did.
I did a lot of things last time that after I did it, I'm like, Moriai. What's your history like?
Liv. Liv is the high roller in my history.
Okay.
Well, all right then. I'm gonna go hard. I think I did hard last time, but you know what? Consistency.
It's up to Savvy to monkey with us, so we gotta watch each other's back.
I'm gonna say sharp for you as well, Moria.
All right, I gotta be intelligent today. Yeah, somebody got missed on one. Marlo, you got to pick one for Mercury too, because we tied. One of us picks it, one, and one picks the other. Savvy doesn't
Oh yeah,
get to
did I
pick
skip?
it. Yeah, we jumped ahead.
What?
Oh no,
we
she
had
picked
hard.
she picked Mercury third.
Oh, she
Oh,
did.
good.
Okay. I was looking in the chat, our chat. And my bad.
Yeah, so for to answer you guys' question, for highlighting stats, that's one of the 2 ways that you gain XP in this game is if you roll with your highlighted stats. For history, the way that that changes is at the end of the session, we go through and everybody picks one person that knows them better than they did before, and your history can go up by 1, or If no one knows you better, in more dramatic fashion, you can pick somebody who doesn't know you as well as they thought, or you can pick somebody at random and they can take -1 to your history. And then when your history hits either a -3, it rolls over to 0, or if it hits a +4, it rolls back over to 1. You get an XP for that. So yeah, that's where those numbers come from. We're not just making up numbers for people's relationships, which I guess we could do. But yeah, that is where those come from. And then history is also, I believe, the stat that you use to help and interfere with people in this game. Okay. You guys ready to get started? All right. So last time, the crew here went on an exciting mission, an exciting salvage mission. They had recently returned from gaining control of the old, worn-out WVMX radio station several miles north of them, and came back, had a little bit of an evening off. It was an evening in which they weren't in mortal danger, which was probably kind of nice for them. And then were very quickly, well, not really accosted. They had a visit from the leader of another hold named Prosperity, leader of the hold Pinnacle. She showed up and told them, "Give me a radio station or else." Liv said no, as did everyone else. So she left, sort of cranky, after a short conversation with the promise that you'd be hearing from her again. But that's okay. You had more important things to do. You loaded up several of the members of Liv's gang in a couple of trucks, took them up to the radio station to guard it, to be in charge of it, to take care of it. While you were there, we had a large maelstrom surge, and you all had weird visions from someone. You're not entirely sure who. Someone that potentially is working with or for Prosperity, that showed you, if you became friends with them, all of the wonderful, nice things you could have. Once again, you all said, "No, fuck off," and continued on your way. You left the guards there, hopped in a jeep, and headed out across a particularly dangerous part of the wastes toward an old abandoned military base, which, after some dangerous driving and the jeep taking a little bit of a beating through these sort of vents of radioactive poison that were surging out of the ground in this weird rad storm, you found a whole bunch of guns. And that's pretty much where we're going to pick back up. We had a nice conversation between Mercury and Moriai, where she looked into his brain a little bit and is concerned that there might be a shadow of something still in there. So, is there anything you guys want to do or look for at this facility before you pack up your many guns and mortars? And because I just remembered I gave you 2 of those. I'm not sure why, but here we are. Yeah, is there anything you guys want to do at this facility before you pack up and head back home?
Mercury has made herself a necklace from all the little hand grenade pins she could find.
I'm assuming ones that
Pretty.
were scattered around and not pulled out of actual grenades.
Yeah, yes. You know, memories. Nice memories. Of things exploding.
Okay. Anybody else? That's lovely. Just packing up the guns. All right. So Mercury, while everyone is sort of packing up, going around, stringing these pins into a lovely new necklace for yourself, you pack up the the sort of busted up Jeep now that is missing a passenger side door and a lot of its rear bumper, but still in one piece due to some excellent driving and some use of big muscles to keep it from falling into a crater. You start the drive back. As you go, everything is a little bit calmer than it was before. Let's do some fun music though. For driving, you everything is a little bit calmer than it was before. It is an unpleasant drive because there is now no way to sort of seal out the gas and smoke and just general junk that is going past as you drive. So I imagine you're all sort of tying things around your face or covering your mouths or what have you. But you can get back relatively unscathed through this part of the wastes. It's fairly uneventful. You make it back to the assembly line a little bit later. You're sort of reaching the end of the day, kind of getting into evening. You are welcomed back by some familiar faces at the gate that are usually there guarding, and you can head off, park the Jeep, and unload all of your gear. What do you do for the rest of the night? I know some of us have dinner plans. Sedona or Liv?
Liv would just go up to. She would just check in for sure with the people at the gates and just. Like, all right. Any other freaks roll through here, or just the usual ilk?
Nothing today, boss. Not even a tumbleweed.
All right, just stay sharp. I don't like this. I mean, if she comes knocking again, we're gonna knock back.
You got it.
Was this as we were unloading?
This was. Liv would have helped unload. She wouldn't have just like. You know what? As soon as we parked, I think she would have checked with people and then come back to help. Like, it's at the forefront of her mind. Yeah.
As that was being said, back at the vehicle, Moriai was lifting up one of the cases full of like mortar and mortar shells, and maybe unrelated, like he heard it on the wind or something. He just, as you say about we're gonna shoot back, and he carries this crate with the mortar off into wherever it's going.
Yeah, I think Sedona slips away during the unloading process. I don't think she's gonna hang around. I don't think that's something. She's not here for the heavy lifting. That's not her deal. But instead, she goes back to her people and gives them all this sort of rundown in this as a sort of, this is what we did today. We found it, family. The treasures we found. And just like gesticulating and telling them about all the places they went and all the things that they did today, and that how like deceit and like going on and on during her evening sermon.
I love it. All right, so Liv and Moriai, for the most part, Mercury, I assume, helping as you can.
Yeah.
Get everything unloaded, put away. You want to just sort of put all this stuff in your armory? Do you want to go about distributing any of it, setting any of it up?
I think she would, as far as the mortars go, maybe that's something that they do need to, I guess, install. I imagine I don't even know that we would even have the guns. Like, and if we did, we certainly wouldn't have shells. So I definitely think that's something that she could have Tesla coordinate. And I think that the guns would be sent to the armory to be checked out and then distributed among everyone, and maybe replace some of the older stuff like that people are currently equipped with, so that they could be worked on in the armory and you know, tuned up and everything. I think as soon as
Absolutely.
the fresh batch is approved, they swap them.
Okay, they will get to work on that. Did I give you guys mortar shells? Does anyone remember?
I have
I
it
think I gave you
Yeah.
2.
4.
Oh god, why would I do that?
I don't know. I have light mortar, 7 harm, fire reload, 4 rounds, messy, and braced.
Yep,
And then
that's
the
that's it.
the grenade tube has 4 rounds, 4 harm, close, area, reload, and messy.
Excellent. So yes,
Oh
you
no.
have 4 mortar shots.
Oh no.
You're welcome. So yeah, you can set about setting that stuff up, get some of the guns, get some of your people on those guns, starting to look through them, clean them, make sure they are functioning well and properly, and then start distributing them out. They'll start working on that tonight. It'll probably take them till tomorrow to finish that, but they get to work. Liv, anything else you would want to do this evening?
Nothing specific, I don't think. I think she just retired to her office.
Awesome. All right, then I want to go over to Mercury and Morai. As you two are having dinner. Tell me about your dinner together.
I think Mercury, once they're done with the crates, will basically jump on his back and hug him from behind like this, and have him carry her off back to their shack in the outskirts. And on the way, tell him, I got a couple of things for us tonight. I found. Don't tell Liv. Don't tell her. But I found some actually fresh meat in the rations, and I kind of may have bribed the quartermaster to give it to me first. I think it's lamb. Could be beef. It's hard to tell.
Meat.
Do you like that? Meat.
Yeah,
Yes.
very much so.
You've been very strong today.
And we audience sees that, yeah, he gets a little embarrassed by that. This big hulking dude with his basically ceramic mother's face on is kind of blushing inside the mask, sort of thing. And we did save the Jeep.
Yeah. You kind of carried that alone. Like, you pulled it back. That was really impressive. Could have gone
Thanks.
down into the crater. Would have been fun too, but not very helpful.
I was ready for that. Liv tipped the scales.
I like Liv. She was a bit scary at first, but she's doing a good job keeping everyone together.
Gives us a place.
Yeah. It's a good place. They keep talking as they walk back to the shack and keep chatting as well while Mercury gets dinner ready, and she's found a weird apron somewhere that is incredibly traditional and has frills and ruffles and is pink with blue hearts. And just talks a lot of nonsense, really, but it's very domestic. It's incredibly fucking domestic.
And is Moriai helping
Do you
make
want to?
the dinner? I
She
can
would let
see
you.
it. I think it would. Okay, so then yeah, it's like he does the chopping, and it's like this might be just little roots or tubers or whatever, but it's this massive cleaver, and it's like the board is shaking every hit. Again,
Are you
big.
worried?
Go ahead.
Are you worried about prosperity?
Hmm. Worried that we didn't kill her when we had the chance.
Yeah. Her place seems really nice. I like to be friends, but she's very... She seems trapped.
Should we get her?
I don't know. I mean, if she does come after us, then at least you get to do some bone breaking, which you're very good at.
And you'll stick her full of holes. And he lifts the mask a little and like kisses her on the head.
I can use the genuine big knives that I got. We can cut some people up. Help them not be trapped anymore.
A big bada boom, take down their whole place.
Yeah. More explodies. Alright, I think dinner's ready.
And he had set the table, and our place is small enough and he's big enough that it was like he would reach the cupboard with one hand, pass the plate, and put the plate on the table with the other hand, kind of thing.
There's a candle as well, and it's one of those Catholic grave candles in red with the paraffin, the white paraffin. They don't know that, but it's one of those.
It's awesome. Who does Moriai take off the mask, or does he like lift and eat under it? I think he probably is still at the point where he lifts and eats under it. So
She'll notice it, but she won't comment. It's your safety blanket, she understands.
It's good.
Thank you. We should have an early night.
A big smile under the mask and a nod. Where's Jeremy currently?
Oh, I saw him outside earlier eating one of the vultures. He's really good at that. He plays dead. So when they come, he just throws this weird acid web at them and then singes off their wings. And while they're still screaming in pain, he just starts liquefying their insides. And it's really sweet. And he's so proud of himself. And I'm very proud of him too.
And whatever part of the meal we're at, Moriai makes the like slurpy noise when she says that the liquefy the insides, just to like be a little joke, like and then.
And when they're done with dinner, she will put the plates into the sink and then start kissing him, take him to the bed.
All right.
So we get to
The two of you.
bed, the mask comes off.
All right, and after dinner, the two of you head off to bed, and you have a move.
I do. It is the deep brain scan. That is a success. But you get to decide the questions that
Ooh,
are being answered.
this is fun.
Three of them.
I'm gonna say, in what ways are your character's mind and soul vulnerable? So, you know, that's one everyone wants. What was your character's lowest moment?
Okay.
And for what does your character crave forgiveness? And of whom?
All right. So let's start at the top again. Just what is it?
In what ways are your character's mind and soul vulnerable?
Ooh. Without the mask, he literally is vulnerable and irresolute. And it all ties back to the experience with his mother and her death and what followed. Yeah, I think that's. Does that answer that?
Say so. Okay. What was your character's lowest moment?
I think that he probably his in the days and years that followed his losing his family, he probably spent many a night curled up in a busted up old car or whatever, you know, just talking to no one. Yeah, just kind of curled up in a ball in the trunk of a car, you know, and just kind of talking to nobody.
To the mask.
Yeah. Let's say by then he had his mask and he would talk to his mother, or maybe he didn't have the mask but he was still talking to his mother. And
okay.
Yeah, and that'd be clear.
Okay. For what does your character crave forgiveness? And also from whom?
I think well, so Liv, what was our deal? What was the history betwixt us is something that was something horrible happened.
Yeah, and I think we had discussed in our session 0 that it was potentially it was kind of like by proxy, like by allowing you within the hold, we kind of opened up a situation where, like, I kind of gave refuge to a murder boy, who's to say. So I think that something horrible was more like I didn't really give a crap. I was like, yeah, you know, he's not hurting anybody here, so whatever.
All right, then, yeah, maybe it was Lydia, do you have any ideas that might be like a connection between Moriai and Mercury that would have been something low or something like that? Because otherwise I'll go with something that happened once I was living at the hold.
No, I don't think she's ever actually seen you do anything really low or something that she would consider really low.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think then what it would be that Moriai, some people attacked him or whatever got in his way, and he, wholesale slaughtered them, and then realized that those people had kids. He had created orphans just like himself. And I think that was like mind cracking for him in an already broken way. So yeah, he created orphans and then had to figure out what to do with them. So
Who do you want to forgive you for that?
That's great. I would say the kids themselves. So if you can weave that in, awesome. If not, I guess maybe just looking for a general forgiveness.
Okay.
And Mercury will dream all these things afterwards. They almost as if she's just there watching, walking through the scenes, kneeling down to try and comfort him, try and caress him. But of course he doesn't know that she's there. It's just a replay of his own memories. She's seen some of these aspects before. Not all of them. I think the kids, that's new to her. And when she wakes up, still his arm around her, she turns around and sort of starts looking at the mask that's sitting at the bedside table and starts touching it and caressing its cheek almost as if it were yours.
Okay. You experience these memories while you're asleep. And again, Mercury, because you did roll very high, I think as you're sort of parsing through these memories of Moriai's that you are seeing, you can always just feel sort of like off, just in the corner of his mind somewhere, just like looming over whatever it is he's remembering or thinking about, this shadow of something you are not quite sure is supposed to be there. But before you can explore that any further, all of you are awakened by the sound of an explosion. From across the hold from near the south gate, there is this loud sound of an explosion and clanging metal and sort of twisting and scraping, and you're all sort of thrown out of your sleep as you start to hear shouting coming from the south side of the hold. Shortly after, almost immediately, you start to hear gunfire. And then if you have a window where you live, you see from one side, one of the buildings on the sort of outside area of the hold start to catch fire. What do you do?
Mask on and armed up and heading for the door.
Okay.
Quickly throwing clothes on and off and telling Jeremy to stay.
He'll stay.
Yeah, Sedona's gonna run through her little corner. She jumps up immediately. This is it, family! This is the time! We must defend! Put all of your forces behind the assembly line forces. We will win!
I'd like to think that the assembly line has some sort of an alarm system rigged up, and Liv just kind of, flies the door open to her office, like elbows something on the wall, grabs the hunting rifle, and is just like, I fucking knew it. Somebody's gonna die tonight. A lot of somebodies. And she'll pop downstairs and wrangle some of her muscle.
Okay, so you all head out and start to make your way toward the south side of the hold. As you make your way outside, you can see one of the buildings nearby. It's probably like a bar or something like that, sort of like a hangout spot where you all might go to spend some time with the other people in the hold. One of the walls of it is just aflame, and you can see farther down the south gate of the assembly line, one half of it has been completely blown open and destroyed. There are already sort of bodies littered around as the first line of defense has gotten involved, and you can see this group essentially that is kind of mixing it up in the middle of the street. You hear gunshots and see the flashing of guns. You can see Tesla and a couple of the other guards sort of going toe to toe with this gang of people you don't recognize. As you get closer, you can see they are all covering their faces. They're all wearing gas masks that have been, except for the actual functioning parts of the mask, the sides and everything have been painted in these like metallic gold and silver colors, so you can't see who they are. You can definitely see them as the two members of the hold guard surrounding Tesla fall. She sort of sawed off in one hand, machete in the other, is surrounded by several of them, and you can see their motorcycles that they came in on sort of discarded right by the gate.
Oh,
Thank you so much
gaudy,
for
but it
that.
makes for easy targets.
Sorry. Thank you so much for that crit donation, Celeste. I'll put it up in a second.
Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. Liv, I think you were saying something.
Oh, she just says, well, gaudy, but at least it's an easy target. And she'll just start shooting at him with her... Just start shooting at him with her gang of about 40 violent bastards. I imagine that they're essentially the people fighting for the hold.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to... It's not kick some ass. Go aggro on someone.
Woohoo! There we go. And then the way they work, it's 2 harm... gang me. I guess that's calculated separately. I just do my...
Yeah, it depends on the gang size.
Okay. That's actually... Well, I didn't advance it yet, so it doesn't matter. It's a 12 because our surplus armory is stocked.
Okay. What size is your gang? Do they have a size, or you just have the number of people?
Medium. It says
Medium gang.
2 harm, gang medium, unruly, 1 armor.
All right, so they're going up against a small gang, so they'll do an extra harm.
Okay.
Good for them. So they'll do 2, I think 3 total for all of them. All right, so yeah, your angry gang of violent bastards, or however it is they're described, have slowly behind you sort of thrown on their gear and sort of run into the fray with their guns, aiming and taking fire, some from the top of the wall still, and some from nearby next to you, sort of firing into, careful not to hit any of their friends. You see several of these people in the gas masks fall as the muzzle fire from the gunshots starts to light everything up, giving Tesla and the others an opportunity to start to gain the upper hand and push them back towards the gate. The rest of you, who else?
Moriai is like moving amongst the buildings and the shadows to kind of come at them from the side, so probably not there yet.
Okay.
Not shooting at all, just running through the dark, gonna jump in amongst them.
Okay, yeah, so you start to creep through, kind of through the, between the buildings, kind of out around to the side, waiting for an opportunity to strike, which you will have, I think, momentarily. Sedona or Mercury?
Mercury's with Moria at first because, well, living in the same area, but she will try out her fancy new friends.
Okay, so you're going to jump into the fray
Yeah.
with your machetes.
Machetes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to go aggro, and if I saw correctly, we hit our first retweet goal. I'm going to hand out an auto success. I'm going to roll with d4. What a lovely sound. Liv. That one will be for you. Have a success.
That was a success as well for going aggro. I get to catch some bitches.
Excellent. How much harm do your machetes do?
3. They are messy.
Grief.
And hand messy. 3 harm.
Okay. Yeah, so you sort of split off a little bit from Moriai and go charging in, sort of coming up near Tesla, and as these two sort of masked figures sort of reach up with knives to strike her, you get there first, kind of slashing each one of them across the back before they even see you coming, and they sort of go like tumbling down to the ground, dead.
That was
and
quick.
she and you say that, and she hears you and is kind of startled and turns around and is like, thanks. And keeps shooting her miniguns. Sedona, what are you doing in the middle of all this?
So, Sedona, who is still in her lovely cotton white nightgown, has gathered it up at knee length and is running one robotic foot after a tiny woman foot, just like bolting towards the action. And she's got the revolver she picked up at the armory, and she has got it up in the air, one hand up in the air with this revolver, the other hand grabbing her nightgown, and is bolting towards it and slams herself up against the wall, a wall, to look around and fire her weapon at the nearest person.
Okay, yeah. Roll plus hard.
Oh.
Okay, that's a miss. So you go, Sedona, you look around the corner and go to fire this gun while you are not super familiar with guns, I don't think. So I think it takes you a little bit longer to take aim and fire into this crowd. And before you actually get the shot off, you feel this pain sort of in your lower back as the person you did not see, who was also coming around this building, snuck up behind you and stabbed you with a knife. You're going to take 2 harm from that, so you're going to go up two spots on the clock as this like pain just kind of spreads across your back, and you turn around to face them, and you see this kind of glinting in the moonlight, this like silver gas mask that they are wearing. As all this is going on, the gang, this main gang of people being very quickly dispersed by the larger and more well-armed gang of Livs. There are a few of them left, but the fire that is taking up the side of this building is starting to grow, and you can all sort of feel the heat from that nearby. In addition to that, sort of farther off near where sort of like the infirmary and everything is, you start to hear gunshots from there as well. And also the sound of revving engines.
So I was hoping that Moriai could get into the breach behind the people, so that when they like finally broke, they turn and there he is just standing there, like, and tear into him from behind there.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think you sense that they are, especially this main group, is sort of on the verge of breaking up. As Liv, you continue to have your people advance. Would you like to tell them to do anything specific? There's lots of shooting ticks.
I did want to mention one thing. I don't know if it necessarily applies to us as a party, but my compound or the hold has the +2 armor from being made out of like stone and iron, and it says your gang gets 2 armor when fighting in its defense. I don't think that necessarily applies to us.
No, it's specifically for
Yeah,
your gang.
okay.
Yeah, that's good to know though,
Cool.
because that you'll probably take a
I
lot,
just wanted to
a lot
bring
fewer
that up
casualties.
Yeah. I think what I would like to do is I think you said there was gunfire near the infirmary.
Yeah.
Or coming from that direction. Yeah, I think she would be commanding half the people around her, secure that, we're gonna need it, and have the more heavily armed people come with her to the wall where we're now hearing explosions, revving engines, and everything, ready to protect that and deal with that.
Okay. Yeah, you head towards the wall and this breached gate, and as you do, you encounter sort of another group of these masked people, and they haven't seen him yet, but you can see sort of coming around through this broken gate just the large silhouette of Moriai just waiting. Just waiting on him.
All right.
So yeah, if you would like, you can go ahead and have them attack whoever's there.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll plus hard. That's very good. Again, a full success. Yeah. So the more
Needed
heavily
to
armored
scroll
of the
down. I
gang.
saw Marlowe's 5.
Oh no. The more heavily armored and armed of the gang, at your order, runs toward this gang, trying to disperse them away from the wall so they can potentially stop whatever may be coming in. They sort of lay down fire, and you do as well, sort of into this crowd, and several of them fall, again, just dead on the ground. The rest turn and start to run, probably 3 or 4 of them left at this point from this part of the group, only to immediately encounter a large masked man standing in the gate, not ready to let them leave. Moriai, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so the big sword is out to one side, the fire behind him, so it's just, again, like you said, a silhouette, and then the sword just kind of Conan-esque comes together and then just starts to swirl him and the blade as he tears into them.
All right, yeah, go ahead and roll plus hard.
There it is. Oh, always forget there's a second screen. Someday. Kachapa. A 10.
Goodness, you guys are rolling like fire right now. Except Sedona. Sorry, Sedona. Yeah, Moriai, you start to just swing the sword, carving back and forth between all of them. You are able to cut them down. A few of them are able to strike back at you because there's more of them than there are you. They're technically a small gang. But yeah, you start to swing through. You end up with a few, cuts and bruises, nothing too major. The only thing, the last one before you cut him down, is able to sort of drive a knife kind of in between two of your ribs. That would be 2 harm, which I think with your armor doesn't matter. I am, though, gonna have you roll the harm move.
All right. Okay, so, and you can just click that button, right?
Yeah, you should be able to
For
click
harm?
it and then put in whatever it happens to be. So it would be plus the harm you suffered after your armor, so 0. And then I think you get to subtract from the harm move. Is that right?
Yeah, but it won't. There is no negative on here. The sheets must have been made before the faceless or something.
Oh no. Well, that's okay. We can just
so
subtract
we'll-
2.
Yeah. Oh.
So that would be
helper
2.
helper interference we can put on there, though. Let's try
That's
the
good.
negative and see how it works. Did it take it?
Yeah, that one worked.
All right.
Yeah, it's got that negative in there. Excellent.
Sweet.
So yeah, that the harm is the one that you want to roll low on. So congratulations, you've done it. So yeah, nothing happens. You are able to sort of just pull that little sad little knife out, toss it to the side, and make your way in to meet Liv and the gang. Liv, you sent the rest of the gang off toward the infirmary to try to secure that area. Mercury, you're there sort of in all of the middle of it, and I think you are probably the one that hears Sedona. You're probably the closest to her at this point, cry out, and you can turn around and see her kind of around the corner of a building, somebody having just grabbed onto her and driven a knife into her back.
I will look from Sedona to Moriai and back to Sedona and nod at him because I know he can take care of himself and run to help Sedona. And whoever is stabbing her, I will plunge both of my machetes into them with a crit. Because fuck that
Excellent.
dude.
Yeah, so Sedona, you see almost out of nowhere Mercury just running towards you, machete in each hand, driving them sort of into the side of this person that has grabbed onto you, and there's no sound even escapes. There's just kind of a exhale, and they fall.
Bad intruder.
Mercury.
Bad.
I owe you
Okay.
my life, Mercury. That was amazing. You never cease to
Do you have weapons? Yeah, don't. There's lots of people. They're bad. Do you have weapons?
Yeah, I hold up the 38 special and kind of like wave it in the air, like kind of wildly. Oh, I got
Yeah,
this.
you shoot them at people, not up in the air.
Oh no.
Are you okay with shooting at people? Because if not, you just need to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
cover. Okay,
Sure,
shoot them
yeah.
at the bad people then. And she turns around to see if there's any more attackers in the near vicinity.
I kind of want to have you roll to see if I could give her like a +1 for your pep talk, because it was really good. Can you just go ahead and roll Mercury plus hot for me?
Sure. Yeah. I don't
keep doing
today.
this.
My God.
Good grief, that's a full success. So, yeah, Mercury runs off, and Sedona, for some reason, just what she said, like, really stuck with you. I'm gonna give you a +1 forward on your next roll.
Awesome.
Little inner party inspiration. All right, so this part of the gate is mostly clear. Liv, you make your way through Moriai nearby. Are you staying on the ground? Sort of in the gate,
Yeah,
or
at this point to kind of be the gatekeeper until we start to pat one of these fires down. I mean, not the physical fire, but the attack.
Yeah, at this point, I think somebody has probably made their way over there and is trying to stop the fire from spreading any further. It's not too bad. It was a small flame, but it's sort of creeping up the wall of this building. So you stay on the ground, Liv. You head to the wall with this part of your gang. You can see right inside and sort of through the gate these like discarded motorcycles that these choppers were probably riding, and you sort of climb up those stairs that you have look over the wall, and from outside you don't see anybody.
Fan out. Find the motherfuckers. I don't like this.
All right, so you give the order, and everybody starts to fan out, kind of going, some of them getting down, taking the inner perimeter, going to make sure that there's someone on the other gate. Everyone kind of splits off in smaller groups.
Can I also set fire to the discarded bikes?
Sure. How?
They're not going anywhere.
I mean, yeah, there's a couple ways you could do that. We could just do it movie style, and then you just shoot them and they explode.
Yeah.
That's how cars work.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you take a few shots, and yeah, sort of shooting out probably the tires and maybe like putting bullets into the fuel tanks so they won't run. And you sort of take off with the rest of your group looking through, and you can see most of what happens seems to be kind of concentrated to this area. Kind of off in the distance, you can see every so often like a couple looking through or like running through the alleys between the buildings, that kind of thing, quickly being taken down by your gang members. And as everybody fans out, you hear some yelling again. The gunshots from the side where the infirmary was have mostly stopped. You can hear some yelling and some shouting, and then you hear the revving one more time of a large engine as sort of through between two of these buildings, a Jeep like yours just comes flying through the buildings, taking off toward the gate.
I want to shoot the tires out.
Okay. You go to fire at the tires. Go ahead and roll plus hard.
I'm going to use my crit.
To succeed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you succeed on that. So you go and you fire at the back tires of this Jeep as it goes kind of careening around through the gate. You hit one and it starts to skid. You hit the other back tire and it continues to kind of chug forward straight towards the gate where Moriai is, and eventually kind of skids to a stop, not expecting there to be somebody standing there.
I don't know if this would apply. Can I use my new move against the Jeep?
What is it?
Oh yeah! I can burst through scenery, walls, husks of cars, and I would like to just burst it through the Jeep. Just sword out, just chunk into it, and send it flying in two parts.
Do you have to roll for that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll. While you're rolling, we did reach our first, our sub goal, excuse me. So, thank you, everybody. Very excited. We'll get to that in just a second.
Okay. All right.
Dang, you guys.
Roll plus hard to smash your way through scenery or to get away to or away from something. On a 10 plus, the scenery is moved or smashed, and you get what you want. And then 7 to 9 has different things. Let's see. Think smashing through walls or pushing through burned out husks of cars. That's what it says.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, the scenery is moved or smashed, and you get what you want. What do you want?
Yeah,
What you want out of the
literally
car?
like who's ever in the car, I want to like take the car in half, just sort of hit it and just cut like literally this massive brutal fuck off sword kind of rips through the metal and just jaggeds it in pieces so that who's ever in the vehicle is still in there, but just like Johnny Quest, enemies.
Absolutely, yeah. So you all see Moriai with this sword just cleave through the literal metal of a car, and then two hands just kind of pull it apart enough so he can get to whatever awaits inside. Moriai, there are two people in this vehicle, again, both wearing these gas masks, one in each front seat. What do you do with them?
I basically Moriai wants to capture them somehow. So whatever I got to do
Okay.
to not turn them into jelly.
Okay. Let's do... it's still going to be plus hard. I'm going to say there is a move called Seize by Force.
Okay.
So we'll use that instead.
All right.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and roll plus hard.
And 10.
Y'all are on fire. So yeah, I'll say there is a... So essentially on Seize by Force, on a 10 plus, you would choose things from the list. You don't want to inflict harm on them, I assume.
Correct.
Right, so the other three, which you would get to pick all three, are you suffer little harm. So I'll say you won't sort of suffer any harm slicing and pulling yourself through this kind of jagged metal of this car. You impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy, and you take definite and undeniable control. Are the other two?
All right.
So yeah, you both see Moriai. I think these, as you do this, these two people just immediately put their hands up in a gesture of surrender, and you can sort of grab each one by the scruff and pull them out of the car. They are no worse for wear, maybe a little banged up since Liv sent their car kind of careening vaguely out of control. But you grab the two of them and hang on to them for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
As
go Hulk Loki if I need to, like slam them on the ground if they try to get away or whatever.
Okay, they don't try too hard.
Okay.
Yeah. So as this happens, and most of the people in masks are dispersed. You Liv, you've sort of sent people around sort of looking for any other stragglers, and they don't find any. The fire is mostly being put out at this point. Mercury, as you're watching Moriai pull these people out of a car, can I get you to roll plus weird for me?
Of course.
Because I heard through the grapevine that we had a maelstrom surge.
Partial success.
Okay, it's partial success. Let's see, we'll give you a vague impression. You watch as Moriai pulls these two people in masks and sort of these black clothes out of the car, kind of setting them down kind of rather hard on the ground if they squirm. And as he does this, you look at them and kind of focus in on their masks, and your eye starts to sort of move very quickly back and forth, and you start to hear just a little bit of whispering. You look at the car again, and everything starts to just go a little melty, almost. Like everything starts to look a little soft around the edges, and like it is kind of almost like everything is like melting very slowly in the heat. And you start to see the shadows of other like humanoid figures start to crawl their way out of the car, kind of wearing the outlines of these masks. They have these like glowing patches on them, and they move sort of like people, but not really. They're odd. Some of them are kind of shambling. Some of them will like go down on all fours and start to crawl around, and then they all stop and kind of look up at you. And then it starts to fade again. And they're gone.
Huh. Her attention span in this case is that of a squirrel. So she will, except for the, not really react, because there are other people to take care of right now after this, and to find out what happened and to secure the area again. So she will literally forget about it as quickly as it happened.
Awesome.
And if that is bad later down the line, then so be it.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. Briefly, before we take our break, you all are sort of regrouping and gathering. Liv, most of your people have sort of reported back to you saying they're either dead or gone. The bikes and everything that they came in on are damaged, or either by you or were damaged in sort of other parts of this scuffle. You lost a few people, not many though. You were sort of able to overwhelm them relatively quickly. But in the middle of all of this regrouping, you see Tesla, who had split off with the rest of the group to go and make sure that the other side was secure, walking your way, not looking very damaged herself, but the whole front of her shirt is kind of smeared in blood, sort of on her hands and everything. And she comes running up to you, looking a little panicked, which she doesn't usually show a lot of emotion. And she says, "Liv, we got a problem."
Oh, you mean besides assholes knocking on our doors in the wee hours of the morning? What? Give me more good news.
Dr. Dwight's gone.
What the fuck do you mean, gone?
He's just gone.
Like dead gone, or left in the middle of the night for a pack of smokes and never came back gone?
I don't know. We went over to the infirmary to make sure everybody there was okay. Some of those freaks in masks were there, ransacking the place. Nobody's dead. Sig's pretty badly off, but I don't know. I think they took him.
You keep an eye on that. I'm gonna get some answers. I'm gonna get some motherfucking answers. And Liv is gonna march up to the two that Moriai is, I'm hoping, still restraining. And she's just gonna kick one of them in the junk really fucking hard, and then look at the other one and say, "I got some questions for you. And you better motherfucking have some answers. Now that stupid fucking masked head of yours. I want answers."
All right. As you look down upon them, ready to figure out what the hell just happened, we are going to go ahead and take a quick break. and think about what we've done. Thanks everybody so much for hanging out with us so far. Again, we're going to take a real quick break, refresh ourselves, get something to drink, that kind of thing. We'll be back in just a brief few minutes to see what happens next. And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us while we took a quick break. We're back, and we're going to pick back up right where we left off. So, Liv, directly in the face of one of your two new friends that you made, that Moriai found for you in a car. You want answers? You want to do this here, or you want to take them somewhere else?
Can I interject right quick?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Sedona, who is wearing this white nightgown that is covered in blood, comes hobbling up to this scenario right now and says, the doctor's gone. I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm bleeding pretty bad, and the doctor's not there. And did he go for a pack of smokes or something?
Thank you, Sedona. Go talk to
you're
Tesla.
welcome.
I sent her over to the infirmary. She could patch you up.
Oh, all right. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
You want to head over to the infirmary?
Shuffles off. Yeah, shuffles off, dripping blood.
Okay. We will resolve that in just a moment. Because that will have to be resolved.
Look at her.
Sedona's like, I've been stabbed. What do I do? So you shuffle off to the infirmary, which we will resolve for you in just a moment. Yeah, Liv and Moriai is right there. I assume Mercury is somewhere nearby. Would you like to do this right here, right now?
She would look at Moriai and just say, you know, office is probably best for this unless you got somewhere to be.
Just shakes. Again, the ceramic woman's face shakes at you and starts dragging them.
Good. And yeah, she'll head over to her office.
Okay, so Liv and Moriai with new friends in tow head to the office. Mercury, where would you like to go? You can go with them. You could go with Sedona to the infirmary. You could go do something completely different.
How is Moriai doing?
He didn't.
I don't think you
take
ever actually took any
wounds.
harm.
Okay, then I'll go with Sedona. So again, just that little bit of a look that they have developed at this point to "Are you okay?" and a quick
Exactly.
nod, and then she'll sort of catch up with Sedona, who I'm sure hobbling and bleeding hasn't really come that far yet, so she'll just walk next to her. Do you need me to help you in any way? And sort of offer her arm. Because
Yeah,
you're
thank
bleeding
you.
really bad.
I appreciate you. I'm not feeling too good, honestly.
No, that's because you were stabbed. Twice,
Oh,
I think.
is that what happens when you get stabbed?
Mhm.
Oh,
I would say it gets better the more often you get stabbed, but it really doesn't.
I've
But
been
you get to
through a
stab
few
people
things.
back. That's fun.
Well, that's true. You know, I walked in the desert for a long time, and I got cut a few times. Not stabbed real deep, so this is a little bit different for me, but thank you.
Is this one of your metaphors, or did you actually get cut a few times real deep?
A few times. Pretty deep. You're not a woman walking alone in the desert without getting accosted a few times.
What did you do?
The gods took care of
And-
it every single time.
Hmm.
Once a rival gang came and took the other ones out. They had me for a couple days, though, by that time. I managed to hide in an old nuclear waste bin. My skin itched real bad after, but I made it out.
Yeah, it's not good touching these things. The voices get really angry when you touch these things for too long.
Yeah. It was pretty rough.
But you have your gods, and your voices, and now you have us.
I'm so happy I do. And
Also, you're
Mercury
really,
kind of
really, really
touches her.
pale.
Mercury kind of leans in a little bit, and as she says that, she just kind of like does one of these.
Yeah, I'm doing the. I'm shorter than her, but I'm waiting for her arm to put around my shoulder and then carry her off.
Okay.
Yeah, she puts a bloody arm over your shoulder, like just like slaps it over, covered in blood.
You prop Sedona up a little bit and take her the rest of the way to the infirmary. When you reach the infirmary, there are a couple people in there. You see, again, familiar blonde Tesla with her many guns, sort of covered in blood, just giving orders, kind of pointing things out, taking on a little bit more of a authoritative role since Liv is not here. You see, sort of propped up in one corner, another familiar face who has been with you for a while of Sig. You gather, based on his condition, that most of the blood on Tesla is probably his. He is breathing and being patched up by a couple of the more knowledgeable members of the gang. He'll probably survive, but he looks like shit right now. And as you walk in, you kind of see her turn and look at the two of you. Ah, shit, you gotta be kidding me. Come on, bring her over here. Where'd they get you?
She lifts up her nightgown to the side so you can see, like, you know, the bottom part of her underwear on the side, and just like pulls it up to show this sort of stab wound on her, like on her waist, I guess.
They probably didn't hit anything vital. All right, I'm gonna try to put something on it to keep it from getting infected. This shit's gonna hurt. All right.
All right. As she puts
she
it on.
Yeah, she takes a like a clean pad and starts to kind of wipe the blood away, and whatever's on it, oh boy, it stings.
Lord have mercy! God almighty, you God! I thought the stab wound was bad. God damn it, Tesla.
All right, it ain't that bad. Come on now. Well, I can try to stitch you up. It's not gonna look nice.
It's on my side. I don't care about that. Didn't affect the moneymaker. She does the whole
All right.
gesture again about the moneymaker.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's either that or you can wait for us to figure out whatever happened to the good doctor, but that's probably gonna keep bleeding if you do.
Tesla, I trust you.
Were
She gives
you
her this,
there
like,
when they took the
this
doctor?
very, like... I was gonna say, she gives her this look, like, this very, like, you know, I trust you wholeheartedly, like, I'm believing in you for this. Look.
Yeah, all right, preacher. You all right, Mercury?
Were you there when they took the doctor?
No, I sort of came in on the end of it. Found a couple guys laying pretty much dead in the street. Sig in here, getting his ass beat. Guess they took him.
So don't are you okay if I have a look around? You gonna be
Mercury,
fine?
you're fine. I'm in Tesla's loving arms now.
Well, that's the first time a lady's ever said that to me. All right. Lie down.
She lies down.
She will stitch you up. It's not fun. It's not pretty. It's also not bleeding anymore, which is good. You can take one tick off your harm clock, so I think you'll go back down to 3.
Awesome.
It's gonna be sore for a while. All right. So as that's going on, Mercury, you want to look around?
I would like to have a look around the area and see
Okay.
if there's read a stitch, basically, see if I can find any sort of signs the doctor may have literally been abducted, or if he went willingly, or if they left a note, managed to leave anything behind. Just have a look around and see if anything is grabbing my attention.
Absolutely, yes. You can roll plus sharp for read a stitch.
Nope. It's a miss.
Okay. You can ask one question anyway, with the caveat, but be prepared for the worst.
Yeah. My question would be, did he go willingly, or was he abducted?
Okay. Yeah, you look around for a while. Obviously, within the room itself, there are signs of a struggle. The masked bodies and the bodies of the gang members of Liv's gang have been sort of removed from the room at this point and have been dragged out into the street. There's a few of them on each side, so there's a lot of blood around. There's some stuff that's been knocked over, kind of busted up, but there is almost like no sign that that Dr. Dwight was even here. His bag is gone. A lot of his tools in their sort of pouches have been removed from here. So there are still some equipment and things like that were left, but all of his like personal things, it's like he vanished.
I'm stealing a scalpel. I always wanted one, but he never let me have one.
From over near Sedona, Tesla's like, yeah, all right, whatever. All right, so you continue to poke around, stealing scalpel. Sedona, you get patched up. Sedona, after this, is there anything else you would like to do?
After it's all said and done, bloody-handed and everything, give Tesla a pat on the shoulder. You did your best, and that's what matters.
You know I ain't coming to church, right?
It's all right.
I mean, I like
God's
you.
smile on you
but...
anyway. I like you too, Tesla. I really do. I can see inside this whole exterior of roughness, and I see someone truly good.
I don't know. I tell you what, with all the bullets that are stuck in there, it's probably pretty rough on the inside too.
Well, you have to tell me a story about them bullets sometime, Tesla. I would love to hear it.
I bet. All right. Well, you should be good to go. Don't scratch them.
Yeah, I imagine it'll get itchy, though. What do I do when it gets itchy?
Think about something else.
Oh, okay. I'll think about all them
Doctor-
bullets.
That'll do it. That might make you itch even more. I don't know. Dr. Dwight always said itching meant healing. All right. No offense, but get out.
All right. Sedona goes over to Mercury. Did you see anything good? No hint about what happened to the doc or nothing?
She's entirely fascinated by the scalpel and is cutting things. Random things, not people, but, you know. Just chopping things up into little pieces.
Well, that's a fine scalpel there, Mercury. Should we go check on the boys, see if they got, or the Moriai and Liv, see if they got that situation taken care of?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
She sort of comes out of a haze.
All right. The two of you head off toward Liv's office, where she and Moriai are doing some interrogating. Mercury, as you go to leave with Sedona, you brush by the door frame where the door to the infirmary has sort of been pretty much kicked off of its hinges, and as you touch the wood very briefly, you feel this odd sensation kind of at almost like at the base of your skull, and just very, very briefly and all at once you hear this scream. You don't know where it came from.
I whip around with the scalpel still drawn, looking back into the infirmary, looking at Sedona.
What happened?
Did you just scream really loud and pain-like?
I don't think I could. My throat, from all the screaming I did a few minutes ago, is all raw.
Maybe it was one of the gods. Do they scream sometimes? At you?
Sometimes. It happens on occasion. Sometimes it's profane. You'd think the gods have a little bit of decency, but...
Well, I guess it's hard being a god all the day, all the time. You want to tell people that they're being assholes?
Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah.
Do you want to be a god?
Oh, I never thought about that. I only think about serving them. I'd have to think on it. Seems like a lonely life, doesn't it?
Well, you get to swear into people's minds. That can be fun.
That could be fun. You're right. I didn't think about that. Well,
You should totally be a god.
You know. Oh, fire and brimstone in everybody's head all the time. Now that might be fun. You're right.
Yeah, that's brimstone.
It's like, you ever smelled sulfur?
Oh yeah,
Kind of like
I love it. That there were the vultures outside our shack that were nesting, and their eggs went bad.
Oh, well, that's awful sad.
Yeah, but after like 2 months, they were like green, and then I poked them open, and they were all weird and gooey inside. And there was one almost fully formed bird, but with 2 heads and weird green ichor, and it smelled really horrible. It was great.
I'm sure you had a field day with that, Mercury. That's not really my cup of tea, but I can see how that would be interesting. And Sedona, who's like kind of grossed out, but just being her best charismatic self in this moment.
I still have the skull if you want to see it someday.
I would like to see that skull.
I want to see Moria now. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, the two of you leave for Liv's office. Liv and Moriai, you have, while this is all going on, made it over to the that central building and up to Liv's office, and you have two new friends. What have you done with them?
They're definitely tied up with Moriai right behind them to remind them who's in charge here. And Liv has pulled forward her a chair, and she's just sort of like sitting like right in front of them, like elbows on her knees, just looking at the two of them. Are they still in their masks? Like they have the same masks as the other ones?
I was gonna say, Moria probably, once they were tied, a big paw on each face and Scooby-Doo yoink, pull the masks off.
All right, yeah. You take the masks off. You see two relatively normal-looking people, for the most part, sitting in front of you. They look a little bit similar. They have kind of pale skin. They're thin, sort of sharp cheekbones, and then this like dark black hair that they've both kind of pushed back. One of them like short and shaved on the sides. The other one kind of pushed back into a braid. And they just both sit there kind of staring at you.
Well, either you got anything to say before I just go bad cop, worst cop on you. Like, what's going on here?
They sort of look to each other out of the corners of their eye, and then the one with the braid looks up at you. Why the fuck would I say anything to you?
Well, you are way out of your depth. You are within choking distance of the only person in this hold scarier than me. And to be honest, I could kick you in the junk all day. It was kind of fun. Very relaxing, very cathartic.
Wouldn't be fun for you to kick me. Nothing down there. You want him for that.
It's still fun.
Not afraid of you.
Lady Dick.
That's hilarious. Not afraid of me. That means you're either so brainwashed by whatever fanatic sent you here to do their dirty work, or you're just missing a brain. You spend too much time huffing the poison out in the wastes, maybe. Or maybe you just got a death wish. God, so many wonderful possibilities as to why you rolled up, big dick swinging, into my house, killed my people, burned my buildings, and took our fucking doctor. So, let's start there, Miss Big Lady Dick Swinging. Where exactly is the good doctor?
Where he belongs.
A little more specific would be nice. And I'm not going to ask again.
He's worth the profit at the pinnacle.
Yeah. Yep. All right, great. Cool. Prosperity didn't like being told no. And so now I have to go say it to her face through the barrel of a fucking gun. Because you lot seem to not be able to take a hint. What, are you guys hurting for medical staff out there?
Isn't everyone? Angels aren't easy to come by. And you had one just sitting there.
We did.
Thank you, LFM Network, for the raid. Woo! Go Raiders.
Thank you. Raid. Yeah. Well, I know no seems to be a very difficult word for you all to comprehend. We could have been convinced to work together. You know, that's the funniest part of this, is that if Prosperity didn't roll up like she owned the fucking place and maybe just asked instead of told, I would have been inclined to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe I could use a couple more friends in the wasteland. But then she got all up in her own stuff. Tried to stake her claim here. Tried to send a little raiding party to mostly successfully fuck with me. Or mostly unsuccessfully fuck with me. With the exception of the dear doctor. So I just gotta ask, I mean, do you not care if you walk out of here alive? Again, are you dumb? Or just insane?
Neither. I'm on borrowed time anyway. Might as well do something useful with it. So no, we don't care if you kill us.
Borrowed
We're
time,
part of
very...
something much bigger than you.
And what's that? The pinnacle, wherever this little hotel of yours might be?
The pinnacle's only the beginning. We have a prophet. A real one.
That's hilarious. Anybody could put on a nice outfit, talk real loud, and pretend like they talk to the gods or some shit. And yahoos like you are always liable to believe them. That is just funny. What are you, desperate because you're dying? Is that what it is? You think you're part of something greater? There is nothing great out there anymore. That died long ago. We make this place great, and fuckos like you ruin it.
As you say this, the other one sort of pipes up in a small voice. He's not, he doesn't like look at you or anything. He's just kind of staring at the floor. She spoke to you, didn't she?
I'm sorry, come again. I couldn't hear you with all the dicks in your mouth. Can you speak up a little bit?
The prophet. She's been in your head. Yours too.
I don't let anybody in my head.
I don't think that's true at all. Liv and Moria, I'm gonna have you both roll plus weird for me.
Don't like that.
Draku has sent us another Maelstrom Surge.
Ooh,
Thanks, Draco.
Thank you, Draco.
Oh. Oh.
Zoink, Scoob!
And I say
That
again,
negative two is...
thank you,
nasty.
Draco.
Alright, let's see it, Moria.
Oh, what? Huh? I'm supposed to roll?
Yeah, you're both gonna roll.
Oh!
You have crits, love. You have crits.
Plus, I have crits. Spend a crit. There. There's that cheating.
To succeed. Okay,
Yeah.
I do realize the two least weird of you, I think, currently in the
yeah.
room together. Moriai, the man with the short hair and the shaved side sort of looks up at you, and you see just for a moment his eyes go this just barely over the top. There's this little sheen of like light green over his entire eye. He looks at you, and you feel somewhere in your mind something pulling, like he's like hooked onto something. But after a second, you kind of shake your head and shake it off, and it, whatever that connection is, leaves you. Liv, however,
Can I headbutt him?
not so lucky. You can in a second.
Right.
Before you are able to get to him, Liv, you also see this. You see him lock on to Moriai and lock on to you, sort of looking up for the first time. And you feel this chill start to creep over you as he kind of looks at you. He has this very serious expression on his face, and his brow furrows. And around you, everything starts to slow down and get very quiet. And you see Moriai start to move toward this person going in for a headbutt, but it is incredibly slow. And he just looks up at you, and you can hear his voice in your mind. Why are you lying?
Can I respond back, or is this just
You can try.
okay?
Do you try to respond in your mind, or do you talk out loud?
I think she says out loud. I don't think she even entertains the clear psychic infiltration.
That makes sense.
Yeah. She says, "Cute trick, Brainer. Cute trick. This ain't my first rodeo."
Our prophet is real. You've heard her. Your friends heard her. And she's still in his head. Watch out for that if I were you. She knows where you are. And as long as she's working with prosperity, you're gonna have a problem.
Has he been headbutted?
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. Okay. Oh, we're still in slow-mo?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. I know a thing or two about prophets. All right. We got a very loud one here that says a lot and probably actually has some control over the powers that she wields or speaks to. Doesn't make anybody right, wrong, voice of God, what have you. I'm not afraid of some prophet. It's just some selfish, greedy bitch that just happens to have some psycho mumbo jumbo power. Doesn't scare me. It's never gonna scare me.
If you knew what a real prophet looked like, it would. Sedona's nothing. But Aurora can see. If you don't believe me,
Wow.
go to the pinnacle. It's the only way you're going to get your doctor back.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that they're just gonna let me in totally Wow, Rob is struggling with the word. I could just kick the door in, walk right up, waltz right in, and take the doctor back. Totally unhindered. There we go. Maybe I am hearing voices somewhere and not in a group chat that Lydia is feeding me cue cards. Thank you so much. I had a brain fart.
The one non-English native speaker. Thank you very much. Just saying.
You have so many problems with the way that prosperity does things, Liv. But have you ever tried asking nicely? And I think at that point, the connection weakens and everything around you, Liv, very quickly starts to move again. And you just hear this crack as you don't have to roll for it. He's tied to a chair. As Moriai sort of cracks his skull against the masked man's, and he doesn't make a sound, but you can feel that that hold he had on you disappear. And then around this time, Mercury and Sedona, you make it up to the office, and you hear a loud crack.
Oh, Moria's doing fine.
That's
You going in?
creepy boy. Yeah.
You go on in, Liv and Moria. You hear the door open, and Sedona and Mercury come walking in.
How are you?
As you say that, the one in the chair that has the braid pipes up again. Oh, great, more of you. What are we doing here?
Are you done already?
I mean, I'm liable to let them hang around if you've got any ideas, Mercury, because at this point, I wouldn't mind a show. Before you take over, if Aurora, was it, can see all of this? Is she watching right now?
I imagine so.
Suck my fucking lady dick. I'm coming for you, bitch. I'm done. Thank you.
All right. What do you do?
I was muted, sorry. Moriai will say, watch this one, love. He tried to get in my head.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You all see him, this person who hasn't actually said anything out loud yet, sort of looks up again, looks at you, Moriai, looks over at Mercury, and just smiles.
I wave at him.
He can't wave back because he's tied to a chair.
I walk around, and sort of bent down to him to have. It's a him, right? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And directly face to face, and then just go. Boop. And with the boop, do the deep brain scan.
Okay. Yes, go ahead and roll plus weird. Yeah.
Yep.
Lydia cannot be stopped today.
That brain scan. I had one miss, but everything in terms of brain scan stuff. Whew.
Very good. All right, 3 questions.
The vulnerable bit. In what ways are this character's mind and soul vulnerable?
Okay. You sense almost immediately a very strong connection with the the woman with the braid who is sitting in the chair next to him. And as you kind of look between them as you're doing this, you can tell they have very similar features, and are of a similar age. If they definitely siblings, probably if not twins.
Huh. What's her name?
He doesn't say anything.
I look at her. What's his name?
John.
And yours?
Jessica. What's it to you?
I'm Mercury. It's nice to meet you. And I want to dig deeper with the secret pains. What are John's secret pains?
You push deeper into his mind, and you start to hear the whispers. They're similar to what you tend to hear from time to time, but you start to realize that his are really ever present. There is always somewhere in one of his ears or in the back of his mind a voice saying something, and it's exhausting. Sometimes there's more than one. Most of the time, he can't understand what they're saying, but he has a connection, much like you do, and much like you think Sedona does, to the poisons, that they are very present in his mind, and it does not make living his life any easier.
So that's why he doesn't talk. They do all the talking. All the time, don't they? Screaming and laughing and crying, demanding, ordering, wanting.
He just sits there staring at you, sort of a mostly blank expression on his face. I think you can see his brow furrow just a little bit, and Jessica looks over at you again. So you're one of those then?
Mm-hmm. But I'm not controlled by them. Your brother's quite weak. He's almost entirely broken. Must be very hard looking at him like that.
Life out there is not easy. Or it wasn't. Till we find a place. I'm sure you know what that's like.
Yeah. If you had to choose between Prosperity and your brother, who would you save?
I'd die for both of them.
It's good, because you might. And I want to
Look at it and come here under any weird illusions. Are we almost done? Go ahead.
almost. I just need to see one last thing. And if that breaks him, I'm not sorry. What was this, what does this character crave forgiveness? Out of whom?
John, sort of eyes locked with you as you push deeper into his memories. You can see what Moriah and Liv saw earlier, this green sheen kind of cover his eyes, and you're hit with this vivid memory of a younger version of John sort of sitting across from his sister, hiding in what seems to be like an old, like a shipping container, sort of rusted out on one side, the two of them hiding in it. And you hear sort of soft crying, and you can see sort of as the memory sort of comes into focus, you see John sort of look down at his hands, and they're covered in that like dark green and black goo ichor that you all have seen out in the wastes before, and you can almost like feel it stinging him, and he kind of looks down at his hands and then over at his sister, where you can see some covering her as well, and she has also sort of got these scrapes and bruises, and she's pretty beaten up. They're probably about 15, and he goes and is trying to kind of get all this just absolute nastiness off of her, and then all at once you're hit with this very intense flashback, and there is a loud scream that sort of rings through your ears, and you see the two of them stuck in this it almost looks like a pond, but it is this like spill of all of this like waste and junk and sort of poisonous stuff, and you can see him sort of pushing her out of it, and for a moment his head sort of going under, being stuck, and then her pulling him out as well, and he has this very vivid feeling of weakness and of regret, and then I think you just hear very briefly his voice in your mind go, "I could have just died in there, and she wouldn't have gotten hurt."
Yeah, but you didn't. It was your fault, kinda. Wish I could tell you something else, but she's dying because of you. That must suck. You must be feeling really guilty about that. I'm sorry. Is prosperity helping with the guilt?
He looks up at you and looks to his sister and looks at you again, and you all hear him very briefly or very quietly under his breath say, "She tries her best. She thinks she's helping."
I want to read that particular phrase
Okay.
with casual brain rip, because she thinks she's helping doesn't mean yes, she is helping. And I want to see if there are some doubts within him.
Okay. So yeah, you can read a person with weird?
Are we doing post-roll crits or not? Because I don't remember.
Sure, why not?
Then I will use that last crit. I want to know.
Okay. Yeah, what do you want to know? I think you get to hold 3.
What are the actual questions? Hold on, I need to look that up real quick. Read a person there. What's that character really feeling?
There is a level of frustration, I think, in him, when he says in particular she thinks she's helping, because you've asked him if prosperity is helping with the guilt. He feels very strongly that she is helping his sister. but he is still very much stuck with this this feeling of guilt about their situation.
And I'm going to ask these questions like I'm asking them into his mind. What would you have me do to help you? What do you wish I would do?
I think you see flashes again of this sort of bright, lit up golden sign that says Pinnacle, and this sort of tall building with a lot of lights everywhere. And then just very briefly, back at you, you sort of hear this thought. I just want to go home. She tells the truth. The prophet is real.
What would it take for you to forsake your prophet, you and Jessica?
We'd rather die.
Yes, you would. And you will. And I slash both their throats.
Okay. I'm going to call this succouring someone because you can't miss. You all see Mercury pull out her knives, machetes. Dealer's choice.
Just the scalpel I just took.
Okay. You see
And-
Mercury pull out a small scalpel and very quickly, in a 1-2 motion, slash both of their throats. And in the moment before they die, you see them look at each other, and then John looks back at you, Mercury, and just nods. And they both slump over. Blood sort of pooling on the floor underneath them.
Now he
And
no
how much
longer
of
has
this
to
was
feel
out?
guilty.
How much of this was out loud? Like that any of us could hear? Almost
The
none of
last
it,
couple
none
of
it, right?
questions were not, and I think most of the conversation with John wasn't. Before that, the conversation with Jessica was.
Yeah,
Okay.
you heard everything that Jessica said and everything Mercury asked her. Yeah, almost nothing that John said was out loud.
Well, remind me to never get on her bad side.
She's a deceiver. You said so. She claims to be a prophet. Can't have that.
Certainly are those chuckle fucks convinced.
I would die for her. So I helped them along.
Sedona looks a little concerned because she has quite a few people who she knows would die for her. She's like, well, oh, all right then. Well, what did you all gather from these? What's the next step?
They really want us to go to the hotel. Really.
Well, if that's where Dwight is, then the assembly line needs its dock. We have to go. I don't like it, but they weren't wrong. Angels are hard to come by out here.
No, we're totally sure the doc didn't go on his own accord, right?
These two were slinging a whole lot of bullshit, but I don't think that was bullshit in particular.
There's a lot of red.
You helped them along. And Moriai, I'll start dragging them out.
She is dangerous, you know.
Yeah, I don't like anybody that can get into my head.
Their prophet? I eat prophet's breakfast.
Yes, you would.
I don't suppose you can do the shit that they're doing, like sending us little messages and whatnot.
Maybe in time. But he was different. I listened to the voices, but he's inside the voices. Echoes all the time. All the time, even when he sleeps. Lots of voices, too. So I don't know how many gods are there.
Countless.
He hears them all. I wonder what made him pick that prophet.
Well, seems like to me if
And then-
someone can get in your mind, it'd be real easy to convince that they were a prophet.
And Mercury looks at Jessica being dragged out by one leg by Moriai. We do a lot for the people we love. But it doesn't matter now. We need our angel.
Yeah.
The gods are far away, but our angel is here. And we need to get him back.
All right. So, as you all think upon everything that just happened and everything you've learned, Moriai, you take the bodies, put them with the rest as Liv's crew are cleaning up, and immediately, first priority, have set to fixing the gate. What's the plan? What are you guys gonna do next?
Well-
Orbit?
First of all, I want to thank Void Smoker for that 30 quid donation earlier on while we had the scene. I think it was a pet pal donation because that's
Is it a
our
pet pal?
usual £30 thing. Yeah.
Perfect.
I
You
don't think
guys-
there's not any longer. But Void Smoker,
guys,
let us know what exactly, if it's really the pet pal donation or not. And also check out Void Smoker on Twitter because they do amazing art of some of our shows and other RPG shows as well. And you should go have a look. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah,
keep going.
absolutely. Let us. No, you're great. Let me know what you want me to do with that donation. Because if it's a pet, guess what? I have some ideas. But I'll wait. What are you guys gonna do? Plan of action.
Looking at you,
I
Liv.
did hear Nukem from orbit from one of you. I think that's Chibi.
an option. Do you want to infiltrate, or do you want to go in fucking guns blazing? Because that didn't turn out so well for these fuckers.
It did not.
Liv is torn between, like, going in with a full crew and just raiding the place, and leaving our already, like, wings clipped hold because we are kind of risking. The longer we're without a doctor and, like, medical staff is, the longer that we're putting ourselves at risk. Like, I don't know. I don't want to leave the place defenseless. How... Let me take a look at gang rules.
We could have a profit off.
Profit off, I like it.
A profit battle.
We could
Alright,
just
so
talk.
yeah.
I'm always up. I'm always up for trying to sermon at these folks. See if they can, see if I can turn them.
Yeah, so the way that the gangs essentially work is that Liv, and we did this a little bit in that last battle, is that you can use them as a weapon. So you can sucker someone, go aggro on someone, have them, lay down fire and things like that. The harm that they inflict, however, changes based on the size of the gang they're going up against. So your gang is a medium gang, they do an extra harm to a small gang. And things like that.
More so, like, I guess, how many of them could I have for it to constitute a certain size gang? I guess, like, can I split my efforts? Like, if we're calling it 40 violent bastards, could I take, like, 15 of them, and, like, what would we call that in terms of size of gang?
They would constitute a small gang. So you could essentially take your medium gang, split it in, you could split it into two small ones if you wanted.
Okay. What time of day is it at this point? Because we were woken up by this.
Yeah. Let's see. I said the middle of the night. When you got woken up, it was probably somewhere around like 2 a.m. I imagine after everything that happened and after all of this, you've probably a couple hours later. So I'd say you're pushing probably 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I gotta sleep on this shit. Give me a couple hours. I'll wrangle you.
Alright, well, if you need, if you can get me up in front of their people, I bet I can turn some of them our direction.
Sure, why the hell not? They fell for the bullshit the first time. Maybe we just sell them your brand of bullshit. No offense.
Hey, I understand. Part of my job is being a salesman. Some people think that's bullshit, and that's okay.
I gotta go talk to Tesla.
Send her my regards, and thanks for the stitching.
Yeah, she's alright.
All right, so Liv, you go to head out to go and talk to Tesla. The rest of you could probably do with some sleep, I imagine, unless there's anything small you want to get done before that. It's about 4 in the morning.
Mercury's super hyped up from everything. She'll go for a run with Jeremy.
Okay, you and Jeremy go for a run. It's very cute. He scampers along on his little spindly legs.
Play fetch with Silver's head.
It's very good. You have a good time. Your training is coming along very nicely. Yay. With Jeremy. And other Jeremy has come around to his presence. Moriai, anything?
I think if he feels that that's something that Mercury does, then he'll probably actually go to sleep.
Fair enough. So you head off to sleep. Sedona?
Sedona's gonna walk back shivering, cold and alone, back to her people, who are, I guess, already settled back in bed, didn't even wonder where she was, and she looks around kind of thinking, look at all the dark buildings going, huh. Thoughtful after all this talk about profits and all of that and all the bullshit, and she heads to bed.
All right. I think you're the one that could probably use it the most. All right. So, Liv, you head down to find Tesla. She is still in the infirmary, sort of tending to the last few folks that are in there. You see, I think Sig probably for the first time. He's awake, all bandaged up, sort of one arm held to his chest and kind of a makeshift sling. He looks like he got the shit beat out of him. But they're down there. If you would like to talk to them briefly.
Yeah, she'll start by going up to Sig and just saying, "Boy, you look like shit. How you feeling?"
Like shit.
Rest up, big guy. And she'll walk over to Tesla and just put a hand on her shoulder. "Hey, thanks for sewing up the preacher."
Oh, I did what I could.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty, but
Yeah,
He'll
neither is
live.
the situation.
so what are we doing?
We gotta get Dwight back.
Yeah, no shit. No offense, but I ain't really cut out for this.
Yeah, well, at least you've got some experience in battlefield medicine, but
I mean, it's mostly thread and fish hooks, but sure.
yeah, well, you know, this whole damn place is basically held by together by thread and fish hooks at this point, with the fucking walls getting. Oh, I'm so goddamn mad, Tesla. I don't want to leave us pissing in the wind here, but I can't roll up with nothing. We need to go to Pinnacle, and I don't know. I want like 15, 20 guys with me when we do.
Yeah, I imagine so. Shit. Well, I got a couple of scouts still in the wings. I can send them out now. They'll be back. I would say by morning, but we're coming up pretty quick. They'll be gone for a few hours, come back, tell us what they see, guards and the like. You can decide what you want to take.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good plan. Get them out and back as soon as we can. God damn. Didn't realize how much one guy going missing could hurt us, huh? This whole place really fucking falls apart without him.
Yeah, well, doctors ain't exactly easy to come by out here.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna hurt him, though.
No, they can't. I mean, but if I'm being honest with you, I'm more afraid of whether or not he went willingly or not. I mean, smart guy, but I've seen I've seen smarter people fall for any sort of fanatic. And these people are saying they have a prophet. And the folks that attacked aren't dumb. I had an at-length conversation with two of the fuckers. But this person's got a way of getting into their heads. It's tried to get into mine. I'm afraid they got to him. And doesn't matter if we take him back with us. If they got to him, we've already lost that battle.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll figure out what the situation is and I don't know, take the preacher lady with you. Maybe she can get him back.
Yeah. Sedona's a loudmouth, but she's our loudmouth.
Yeah, I think she's still trying to get me to go to church.
I would love to see that. You know, I have to keep stopping myself from walking down there. Because I don't know how long I would be able to hold it in, my feelings on the whole matter. But I don't know. It's the line I toe with her. Try to respect the bullshit, but God, it's such bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in all that, but she's doing something.
Yeah. Anyway.
You ought to get some sleep.
Implying I'm gonna sleep after this fucking nightmare. God, I'm afraid I'm gonna wake up and, I don't know, you're gonna be leading a charge against me. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. My skull's a little too thick for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep Sig company.
Yeah. All right,
I got twice
rest
the
up.
guys on the walls, and they're putting the gate back together, so should be all right.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fuck. She'll just leave and go back to her quarters. Try to get some shut-eye.
All right. As you head off, and everyone tries to get some sleep or runs off the rest of their adrenaline and then tries to get some sleep, we'll go ahead and end there for the day with a plan in motion to go and rescue the good Dr. Dwight. Let us go ahead and do our end of session move. So everybody take a look at your sheets and at your history specifically. And I will ask you, we'll go around and everyone will choose a character who knows you better than they used to. And we'll adjust your history from there. The option being, if you think no one knows you better, you can choose a character who doesn't know you as well as they thought. Those are your options. Whoa. Anybody feel very strongly about who knows them better, or I guess doesn't know them as well? Yeah. Moriai.
Yeah, obviously Mercury. She was in my dreams.
She was all up in there.
I always am, dear.
That's right.
All right, so Mercury, you can add +1 to your history with Moriai.
Which takes me to 3. Does that? No, it rerolls at 4, right?
Yeah, it's 4 to roll over, so you need 1 more. And you'll roll over and get an experience. Cool. All right, so that's Moriai. Anyone else have strong feelings?
I really feel like Sedona told Mercury something that she didn't know about her, as far as like traveling in the deserts and like her sort of like pilgrimage almost. Being captured by raiders or gangs or whatever is pretty intense.
Yeah.
So
She knows a little bit more about Sedona in the before times.
Yeah.
Also
Very
up to
cool.
3.
All right. So brings Mercury up to 3 with 2 of you. All right. Either Mercury or Liv.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you. I've done enough talking today.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the this is always more for Liv, like who kind of works well with her at the time. I don't think
Sure.
she's a pretty open book. No secrets really. But I think her and Moriai interrogating the two phonetics definitely brought them closer together.
For sure. All right. So Moriai, you can add +1 to your history with Liv.
And I think
You're muted, GB, if you're talking.
Yeah, so that put me at 4. So rolls to 0,
Okay.
and I get an XP.
It rolls to +1, and you get an XP. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
So for that, we might do a little. I'm debating doing the sprawl thing and having you guys do like a little scene about the progression of your relationship. I'll think about it. We won't do it right now. If we do it, we'll do it next time. So we might do that. All right, Mercury.
I think outside of Moriai, both Sedona and Liv probably saw a new side or a different side to Mercury, but I'm going with Sedona because, again, of that nice little helping intimate moment we've had there. And yeah, the trust and the shared aspect of the voices, I think, is pushing that.
I like that a lot. All right, yeah. So Sedona, you'll add +1 to your history with Mercury. What does that put you at with her?
that levels us up. That levels me up.
Oh, nice.
So I get an experience. Yeah,
All
that was
right.
my last one
Yeah,
before I
so-
leveled up, I think.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you'll get that experience and you'll have an improvement. All right. Great job today, everybody. That was very exciting. I told you it was going to get a little rowdy. And here we are. So yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us today during our show. I hope you had as much fun as we did, because I don't want to speak for everybody, but I had a ton of fun today. So we are so glad you were here with us. And yes, for our Pet Pal donation, I'll come up with something awesome
There's
and really cool.
a great suggestion Void Smoker had that I want to talk to you about, and yes, I will totally sell you
Sure.
on it because I fucking love it. But we're talking off stream because
I believe you 100%. So we will talk about that, and that will make an appearance during the next session. So thank you so much for that donation. We'll definitely get that in there in some sort of either hilarious or dramatic fashion, maybe both. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you were here with us live, we had a ton of fun. Thank you for the retweets and the subs. I love those Maelstrom surges just so much. They're always weird and creepy and sometimes painful, and they're just, I don't know if they're fun for you guys, but they're really fun for me. So thank you so much for those and the donations as well. Don't forget, if you made clips, which I know some of you did because I saw those pop up in the chat, make sure you post them in the Discord so we can consider them for a clip of the week. We love them so much. I want to watch all of them. But maybe this week, that clip of the week will be yours. A couple of things before we all say goodbye. Don't forget about EncounterCon. That is coming up next weekend, August 29th and 30th. There's going to be several streamed games, as well as several offline games as well. A lot of you have signed up for. It's going to be an excellent weekend of hanging out and playing games and doing goofs and having a lot of fun. So don't forget about that. Show up for that. And yeah, the information about that is in the Encounter Roleplay Discord, which you can join and talk to us about all things EncounterCon and all things games, this game specifically, and all the other shows on the channel as well. So hang out there, hang out with us on YouTube as well. Leave us some comments about things that you liked about the show. And Encounter Roleplay also has a Patreon now as well, so check that out. I am going to let these wonderful people tell you where you can find them when they're not here. You know me. I'm Savvy at Savvy Seaworth on Twitter. My schedule is pinned there. The next show that I have is just a couple hours from now on twitch.tv/game nights. Myself and Graybeard and a couple of other fun friends play in a game of The Sprawl. So if you like Powered by the Apocalypse, it's the same system. But cyberpunk and with some extra rules. I play a really large woman who kills people with a chain. So if that's your thing, come hang out tonight later on. And I feel like somebody was about to make a comment. I got real nervous. That's a little bit later on, and then throughout the week I am a lot of places. I'm mostly on twitch.tv/game nights with 2 G's and a K, except on Mondays when I'm on twitch.tv/cobalt press playing deep magics. But yeah, that's me. Let's go around and then I'll let Lydia take us out because she has some fun stuff to tell you about the show coming up later tonight. Rob, who are you? Where are you even?
I don't know. New Jersey, allegedly. Hi, I'm Rob, or bonus stage Rob, or bonus_stage_Rob. The next thing I have coming up is I don't know, like in 5-10 minutes when I go live on my Twitch channel, just playing more Horizon Zero Dawn because I'm obsessed right now. And then I'll be twitch.tv/game nights on Sunday at 4 p.m. for our Monster of the Week game with Savvy and GB playing Travis, the crooked, now turned spell slinger. He's a good boy. He's a good bean. But yeah, that's what I got going on.
Nice. Marlo, who are you?
I'm Marlo, and big women with chains is my kink, so I'll be tuning in for that. Yeah, you can find me at Marlo Bogwitch on Twitter. I do a lot of things. I'm on a cult game Wednesday nights. Not the cult game on this channel on Wednesday nights. Another cult game on another channel on Wednesday nights. I post about it on Twitter, so you can find it there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how that happened.
The Wednesday cults.
I know, Wednesday cults. And I am also on every other Saturday. I'm on Featherfall playing a 5e game called the Gateway Wars. I am also on. I do other stuff, and I don't have it all in front of me. But you can follow me on Twitter and find all that. Come on. And I also am on a podcast. I am a player. I am an editor for that podcast. I am putting this episode I'm putting together is the best episode yet. So there's lots of Loxodons charging, and fighting and killing things. So it's good. It's great. So check me out, follow me, find me, and think of me if you're a big woman with a chain. Hit me up. My DMs are open.
GB, who and where are you?
I hate to make that same statement. My God, that's Graybeard
regrets.
Tavern. No regrets. You can find me on the Twitter. There's the name, and my schedule is pinned there. I play on G Game Nights, Indoor Adventures here, and currently my own channel on Sunday mornings where I play Deep Sky Derelict, where I get to play with all my toys and wave around the 112 plus weapons that I have within reach, and so it's always a good time to hang out. And this Sunday, I believe I'm going to be giving out subs left, right, and sideways, because I got a goal I want to make, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be sad because I bought artwork. So I'll be shuffling those out. So come on by 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday morning.
Awesome. And yeah, Lydia's got some fun stuff for you, so I'm gonna let her take us the rest of the way out.
All the funnest stuff, yes. I do want to reiterate EncounterCon on the weekend of the 29th and 30th, which is going to be so much. As in, take behind the scenes, we're all kind of terrified of what we did to each other. I remember Charlie saying, "Oh, let's take it slow this season." That did not happen. I'm going to do a Fey Grinder, which is one of the meat grinders. We are normally doing it every month here on Encounter. We have basically about 15 players playing 5e, D&D 5e for a charity. It's Thrive DC, taking care of homeless folks in DC. And we're collecting. You can donate to fuck people up or help them, but let's be honest, the other thing is much more fun. And we're going to play Midsummer's Nightmare, where I am going to be Queen Titania. Titania and Oberon are having a little bit of a falling out, and unfortunately that means they naturally send assassins against each other. So players are going to be the assassins, and everyone's favorite Colonomicon is going to be Oberon, and we're just going to basically bitch at each other for 4 hours. So that should be fun, and you can find all about that in our Discord when it is what other games we have on, from Zweihander to Kids on Brooms to Call of Cthulhu Atlantis to, I'm forgetting things because there's so much, also some non-streamed games. So please, if you're interested, check our Discord for more information. Clip of the week, as we said, can also be posted there, and you can watch other clips from other shows. You can check our schedule as well, and our YouTube, and you can basically now get 3 hours off, but then we want you back here, because normally there's a triple bill on Fridays with Eclipse, but unfortunately due to some just real life stuff, to be perfectly honest, our cast had to take the evening off. We of course want people to take care of themselves and their families first. Everything's fine, but they will be back next week. So after 3 hours, you should come back here for a very special episode of Wild and Chaotic, my pirate friends. They just got fucked a little bit. The captain's almost dead, but hopefully he'll get better. I certainly hope he'll get better, because else we'll have some words. But more importantly, there's going to be a super special little trailer for that, and I'm so excited about, and have been sitting on for a week, and I can't tell anyone, and I can't tell the players yet. So they're going to see it today, and their faces are going to be amazing. So tune in later on at 9 p.m. EST for that, and watch them be pirates. As for me, you can find me mostly here. You can find me on Cobble Press as well. this one mentioned it a second ago. Savvy is one of my players in Lessons in Deep Magic. Colin's in it, Draco is in it, who donated subs earlier today, and of course, Noir Enigma is a fabulous vampire. They're all so extra with the cosplay, and we just had our premiere this Monday, so feel free to catch up on the Kobold Press VOD highlights. It's in there, and our second session is going to be next Monday, of course, at 8 p.m. EST. So stop by for that, or find me as Half Ars Hermit on Twitter and on all the socials. We are going to sign off with our regular trailer for Wild and Chaotic for our Pirate Babes, and we'll see you again afterwards. I think we're going to raid someone, maybe Critical Bard. He's on playing Jackbox games. So watch the trailer, come back for our pirates, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys, and see you next week.